Tonight, a helping hand, how local pharmacies are getting involved in the vaccine rollout process in Northwest Wisconsin.
And pandemic power struggle. A new bill in Minnesota aims to take decisions out of the governor's hands and give them to local school districts.
Plus, another effort. Lawmakers take one more shot at blowing the cap off growler limits in Minnesota.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. Slowly but surely, vaccine shipments are making their way across the U.S., and the federal government and pharmacy chain stores are teaming up to bring more vaccines to local communities.
CBS3's Emma Quinn explains how the federal retail pharmacy program is helping those in Northwest Wisconsin.
The Walgreens on Tower Ave in Superior behind me is one of 178 Walgreens locations across Wisconsin that has been picked for this new vaccine program. The Federal Retail Pharmacy Program is a collaboration between the federal government and state health officials who are providing free COVID-19 vaccinations to help increase vaccine efforts. That includes 17,800 doses of the Moderna vaccine being shipped right to Walgreens locations across Wisconsin. Douglas County health officials say this will greatly help their vaccination efforts.
And I appreciate assistance from wherever we can get it, as long as it brings vaccine to our community.
Those vaccine shipments started this week, with the majority of sites picked for their location in underserved areas. Those eligible to receive the vaccine at these pharmacies include those in the 1A phase, which is healthcare workers, firefighters, police officers, and those 65 and older.
Thanks, Emma. As of right now, those vaccine appointments are done through an online booking system. For more details, including all participating locations, you can head to our website.
Described as a long-standing and worsening issue, the state of Wisconsin is now taking steps to address mental health crises. A coalition of law enforcement agencies, healthcare professionals, and area governments say more needs to be done on a local level. They say they're not equipped to help people who need emergency mental health detention. County facilities are often at capacity. That means officers often have to drive for hours taking patients to the state facility, which is located in Oshkosh. To address the issue, state leaders are considering proposals they can act on now, and some that need legislative approval.
Wisconsin Republicans want to give more federal aid to school districts that reopen to in-person learning. State education officials had planned to distribute $65 million in federal coronavirus relief dollars across 172 school districts. Instead, the GOP Finance Committee decided to distribute the money according to how many in-person instruction hours those districts offer. Districts that offer more hours would get more aid. Committee Democrats cried foul, saying the move punishes schools that remain virtual. Republicans said it's time for schools to reopen.
All right, let's get a quick look at the weather with Dave. Dave, I think that wind chill advisory is just stuck on your weather maps. It has been for like a week and a half, it feels like.
Yes, and it probably will be stuck until Sunday afternoon. Okay. Although there's a slight difference today, and we'll go in tight to it and point it out. Sure, Minnesota and Wisconsin yet again face another wind chill advisory, just like Tony mentioned, but the Upper Peninsula doesn't, so the winds will probably be a little bit less there. But otherwise, for Minnesota, Wisconsin, overnight tonight, the feels-like temperatures will run about 30 to 40 below, and the actual air temperatures, again, could go 15 to 30 below, and some towns this morning, like Cotton, went towards 46 below. Oh, it's cold, and likely cold again here tonight, but the big change-up, at least briefly, is a small trough of lower pressure working by the Arctic high pressure system. So you see the clouds increasing and some snow showers popping out, especially around the head of the lakes and then through the South Shore. We'll talk about how much could stick in just a bit, but first we'll show you the short-term forecast, which says the cold is sticking. 20 below again for the Twin Ports by tomorrow morning. Then sunshine returns as that trough goes away. High temp tomorrow afternoon about 6 below. Staying cold through the weekend, but next week holds a glimmer of hope for a warm-up. We'll talk about how high it could go coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Court documents show the suspected shooter at a Buffalo medical clinic opened fire on receptionists moments after he entered the building on Tuesday. Gregory Ulrich made his first court appearance this morning. He was charged with murder, 4 counts of attempted murder, and more. A judge set his bail at $5 million. In new documents made public today, authorities say Ulrich shot 2 people in the Alina Health Clinic's reception area. He then went further inside and kept firing. One person was shot while trying to run away, and another was shot 6 times. He also allegedly set off 2 explosives. Authorities say somehow Ulrich was able to get inside, even though he had threatened violence there in the past.
Republicans in Minnesota are introducing legislation that would handcuff the governor's emergency powers. A group of about a half dozen House GOP members introduced the bill today. They are all former educators. It would take away Governor Tim Walz's power to unilaterally close schools. It would also ensure reopening decisions are handled at the local level by school board members, district officials, and more.
Families are being devastated by distance learning. It's taking a toll on academic achievement, mental health, and more. This is not disputed. I've heard that from the governor's office, I've heard it from MDE, and I've heard it from the big education special interest group.
A similar proposal passed its first committee earlier this month in the state Senate.
Down in St. Paul, Minnesota lawmakers have introduced new legislation to remove the state's growler cap. The current law states once a brewery produces 20,000 barrels a year, they can no longer sell off-sale beer. Right now, there are only 5 breweries in the U.S. that are restricted when it comes to selling beer to go, and that includes Castle Danger in 2 harbors. At a press conference this morning, the brewery's co-founder said these sales aren't meant to hurt liquor stores, but rather create jobs and bring a boost to their community.
Please, let's eliminate the growler cap before the 6th and the 7th and the 8th and the 9th brewery runs into this. And their growth is stunted and more jobs are lost. Beer is bipartisan. I can't say it enough.
Larson adds that because of the growler cap, the brewery has had to lay off 3 of their full-time employees.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar says evidence presented during the impeachment hearing is leaving an impact. She was among those rushed to safety during the insurrection on January 6th. In an interview on CBS this morning, Klobuchar said the hearing showed her things she missed during the chaos.
A lot of us weren't as scared as maybe we should have been, but we weren't scared because the police officers were there. And that moment where the officer is shrieking in pain, literally putting his body and got wedged in a door between this angry mob and all of us to protect us is what you don't forget.
Klobuchar says there will be discussions about how to better protect the Capitol.
We've introduced you to Duluth's Sharon McMahon a few times on our air, but since then, she's taken what she calls her fact revolution to new heights. The former teacher appeared on CNN this morning discussing how she's dispelling misinformation on the internet. On her Instagram account, McMahon has amassed a following of more than 477,000 governors, as she fondly calls them. Lately, she's used that platform to not only teach about the inner workings of our government, but also share tips on how to seek out facts. In her interview with CNN, McMahon said, with conspiracies circulating quickly, work like this is more important now than ever.
And some people truly don't even know where to go to find the right information. They can't tell if a site that they're looking at is legitimate or not. And then that also ties into the viral nature of social media. It's so easy for something that sounds good to just spread like wildfire.
McMahon started offering online government for grown-ups classes. You can find her on Instagram under the username Sharon Says So. She also ran an online donation campaign raising more than $560,000 in just a few days, which will be donated to a nonprofit that forgives medical debt.
The Minnesota Diocese has reached a more than $21 million settlement over abuse claims. 145 people sued the Diocese of Winona-Rochester, claiming they were sexually abused by priests. They're joining 4 other dioceses across the state, including Duluth, to file for bankruptcy amid settlements.
Well, the temperatures are low, but spirits are high over at Mont du Lac Resort, where they're preparing for an upcoming ice cross downhill race. This weekend, athletes will hit the track for the Red Bull ATSX 250 Ice Cross race. This is the 8th year Mont du Lac Resort is hosting the event. 60 racers from 6 different countries will take part. Ice cross crews have been working around the clock to prepare the track and boards for the big race.
So we've had pretty chilly weather, so they've been out there every day with the hose getting everything iced up. So it's just been constant making sure that the track is ready for all the racers this weekend.
The race runs Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. It is free to the public to come out and watch if you'd like. And tonight at 10, we hear from one of the riders taking part in the race and share what she's most looking forward to.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, many, if not all, businesses have been hit hard by the pandemic, but in Duluth, local flower shops are hoping to bounce back. Find out how next.
Today's high temp at Duluth International, 4 below. Tomorrow we may only make it to 6 below. And it stays cold through the weekend, but perhaps 5 above is attainable by Monday. We'll talk about that coming up, along with the chance for a little light snow tonight in just a couple more minutes.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Dr. Mark Scott, a trauma surgeon at Essentia Health, talks about frostbite.
If a person is wearing appropriate winter attire with gloves, boots, warm socks, long underwear, scarves, hats, things like that, the onset of frostbite can be greatly slowed. Whereas a direct exposure of naked skin to the elements can produce frostbite injuries within minutes. If you or someone you know thinks that you may have experienced a frostbite injury, getting prompt medical attention can mean the difference between recovering from the injury, potentially with minimal long-term effects, versus something as catastrophic as losing fingers or toes or an entire hand or foot to amputation.
At Essentia, one treatment for frostbite is a drug called Alteplase, which alleviates blood clots.
Using Alteplase allows us to break down that clot and restore blood flow, and it's been shown to be very effective at saving people's fingers or toes or even more major injuries, and avoiding the need for amputation. It's sort of paradoxical, but the times where we oftentimes see the most cases are actually at the beginning and end of the winter. When it's minus 30 outside, most people have the good sense to bundle up when they go outside.
Wind can greatly accelerate the onset of frostbite. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
This school year and the last have been unreal. So thanks, moms and dads, for sharing your precious bandwidth with our class. We will get through this. But in the meantime, our educators are grateful for everything you do.
This school year and the last have been unreal. So thanks, students, for introducing us to your study buddies. We'll get through this. But in the meantime, our educators are grateful for your perseverance.
Over 20 million viewers watch the premiere of The Equalizer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I've been where you are. No one to turn to. Turn to me. I got.
What did they used to call you? Watch The Equalizer, new Sunday 8/7 Central, or stream anytime on CBS.
CBS 3 News is brought to you by Duluth Casino. CBS 3 Weather is brought to you by Heritage Window and Door. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Tony says he's too tired to smile in that wide shot coming into the segment because he's been doing a lot of work keeping his house from breaking apart in the cold. And it was cold again this morning. Take a look at Silver Bay, 38 below, 33 below for Hibbing, 36 below International Falls, and 31 degrees below zero for our friends in Hayward. Even Watersmeet, Michigan, away from the lake, hit 30 below. And the 30 below range is possible again tomorrow morning, with a wind chill advisory on top for some towns in Minnesota and Wisconsin, though the UP doesn't seem to have to face that problem here tonight, but still the actual air temps will be cold no matter where you go. Right now, what's the wind doing? It's northwesterly at 6 miles per hour, but could go towards 15. Hence the wind chill advisory for another night for Minnesotans and Wisconsinites. Current temp at the airport is 6 below already. Looking at 20 below here at the head of the lakes by tomorrow morning, and 30 below again for towns inland. Cotton this morning hit 46 below, and of course that is achievable once again too. Now, let's move on. Talk about the current temps. So we looked at the morning lows just a few minutes ago. Now we're eyeing up the current temps, and Watersmeet went to 5 above. There's our hot spot. 4 below, though, currently in Ironwood and Ashland and in Solon Springs. 3 below towards Superior and Hayward. 4 below for Moose Lake. 8 below Cloquet and Carleton. 6 degrees below zero in Silver Bay. Cold enough for the reporting station in Two Harbors to take a break, it looks like. Same deal with Ely out there at the airport down Highway 1. Evelyn at 8 below, 10 below for Hibbing. Grand Rapids a degree colder than that, and 15 below already for International Falls. And then we factor in the winds. It turns into 27 below International Falls and 16 below for Ashland. 18 degrees below zero feels like number in Grand Marais. 3 above the Watersmeet. So, yeah, the wind is not a huge factor for the UP tonight. And, well, if someone has to have slightly milder conditions, it may as well be our friends in the Upper Peninsula. Doppler and satellite map right now shows clouds are thickening and a couple snow showers popping off as planned, thanks to a combination of a northwesterly wind, a little bit of lake aggravation, and a small moisture-starved trough of lower pressure working up and over the dome of high pressure here at the surface. But by tomorrow afternoon, the high pressure reasserts itself, the low goes away, and the clouds go away, and it's sunny and cold once again. But if this 20 to 30% chance for snow showers tonight pays off, accumulations could look like maybe 1/10 of an inch in Hibbing to maybe an inch straight up for our friends in the snow belt in Ironwood. So really just a dusting here. And now, taking a look at temperatures, it's getting pretty brisk again. Minnesota low temps 15 to 30 below, along with that flurry chance. Wisconsin numbers 15 to 20 below. Michigan as well, 30% chance for the flurries. And then Friday is sunny. Highs below zero for Wisconsin and Michigan. Sunny in Minnesota. Highs from 8 below to 1 below, even by the lake. But an expiration date has been placed on the cold snap. Monday goes to 5 above. Like we talked yesterday, Tony, 10 above on Tuesday, 15 on Wednesday, and it's not just a pipe dream because Thursday will dare to go to 16 above.
Hopefully that expiration date doesn't get, extended. You drink milk maybe 2 or 3 days after it expires. Let's hope that it falls in line on Monday there into Tuesday.
Hopefully they'll be calling us about our extended warranty for extended warmer temperatures. That's one I'll renew.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Thanks, Dave. Flower shops are hoping to boost their sales this Valentine's Day after having a pretty rough 2020.
CBS 3's Leanne Valdez spoke to some in the area about how they're preparing for the big day.
On Central Entrance, you'll find Julie Stabe, owner of
Good Morning, the Roseman.
Preparing for the biggest day of her year.
And the phone just rings constantly.
And Stabe doesn't mind it one bit. That is after the year her flower shop had in 2020.
So I had to shut down.
From March until June, the Roseman closed its doors. Stabe says she had more than 20 wedding cancellations. The shop lost thousands and thousands of dollars. The same goes for Saffron and Gray, a couture flower shop in the Woodland neighborhood.
At cancellations, I'd say probably under 30. Well, like postponements, there's been a ton.
Saffron and Gray was able to do sidewalk sales and curbside pickup to help business, but it wasn't the same. And even in 2021, both flower shops are still feeling the wrath of COVID-19.
So greenhouses and stuff are still closed in some places, so it's harder to get product.
Both flower shops are hoping this Valentine's Day will make up for lost revenue. Stabe already reaching orders well into the hundreds.
Over 500. And then not including like the walk-ins. You're welcome.
Saffron and Gray employee Hannah Farno says the average person at the flower shop spends around $100.
Yeah, so it's nicer when they can come in so they can look at other things and maybe get a candle or get something else for their loved ones.
Double package.
Both shops say this year they've had a huge increase in delivery, getting a lot of out-of-state orders delivered to loved ones.
Still ahead in sports, we've got a big matchup tonight on My 9. Kelly's in with a preview from Hermantown coming up.
Melt the cold winter with hot gear from Duluth Lawn and Sport.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Everything is on sale, plus 0% interest financing until 2024 during the President's Day sale at Home Furniture. This two-piece sectional is now just $9.99 and free shipping when you spend $4.99 or more. The President's Day sale at Home Furniture.
Escape your house. Come to the 3rd annual Escape the Bomb. Here's your chance to test your puzzle-solving skills while bringing the family to support a local nonprofit organization. Heritage Window and Door proudly presents Escape the Bomb, February 12th through the 14th. Choose from 4 different escape rooms: River of Doubt, Dead Man's Chest, Toy Collector, and 1890s Jail. Enjoy a night of fun in a socially distanced and responsible way. Go to bongcenter.org and click on events to book your time slot now. Brought to you by Heritage Window and Door.
Fairview has expanded options to access your own physician. You can be seen in person, and we would encourage you to do so if that's recommended by your provider. We also have telephone and virtual visits available, as well as e-visits. Certainly it is safe to come into our clinics or our emergency room if that is needed, and we've got enhanced safety measures to keep you safe when you do come. We do want patients to feel comfortable to receive the care that they need when they need it.
Fairview Range, we're here. It's time to upgrade your downtime. It's time for Stressless. Now at Arrowhead Supply, go from one grade of leather to a higher one for free. Or save $300 on Stressless Sunrise recliners. Don't wait. Save hundreds on Stressless comfort. At Arrowhead Supply in Duluth and Virginia.
I protect this house every time I step on the ice. J3 Insurance protects my house, my family, and everything important to me 24/7. Visit or call J3 Insurance today and protect what matters to you.
Last year, when people were going hungry, Subaru and our retailers donated 50 million meals to Feeding America. And yet, 1 in 4 children may still face hunger. So as part of our love promise, Subaru and our retailers are doing it again, donating an additional 100 million meals to help those in need. Love, it's never been needed more than right now. Subaru, more than a car company.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
During Home's President's Day sale at Sleep Express, get 0% financing for 6 years on any Tempur-Pedic mattress. Plus, save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets with free delivery, setup, and get a free $300 shopping card. Home's President's Day sale at Sleep Express.
Welcome to the Kelly Clarkson Show!
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Although it is a shortened season due to COVID-19, there are still plenty of huge boys high school hockey matchups this year, including the one tonight, which I am very much looking forward to, between 2 unbeaten teams in 2 classes, Hermantown and Grand Rapids. That's where we find our own Ryan Campo with more on tonight's big game. Ryan, what do you got?
Kelly, number 1 in Class A versus number 6 in Class 2A, Hermantown and Grand Rapids. It doesn't get any bigger than this. One of the best matchups we'll see in boys high school hockey happening tonight. Grand Rapids comes to this evening 7-0 on the season, have beaten defending Class AA champs Hill Murray and Moorhead, outscoring their opponents 30-5 in their 7 games. Meanwhile, for Hermantown, they sit at 9-0, have knocked off St. Cloud Cathedral, and most recently Duluth East, outscoring their opponents, yes, 78-5. Head coach Patrick Andrews says the stretch the Hawks are currently on will help down the road come playoff time.
We're kind of approaching this like a good practice for playoffs. You don't get the practice playoffs, but this is as close as you're going to get, playing 3 very meaningful hockey games in 1 week, and it was a really good test for us.
Tonight's matchup will be the first of 2 this season between the Hawks and the Thunderhawks, as they are scheduled to meet again March 4th over in Grand Rapids. Now, we're just over about a half hour away from puck drop. For those watching at home, you're in luck tonight. You don't want to miss this. Tonight, My 9, game of the night, 7 o'clock puck drop here from Hermantown Ice Arena. Tonight at 10, we'll have complete highlights. But for now, I'll send things over to you, Kelly, back in the studio.
You're not mincing words there, Ryan. It is going to be a great game. We'll check in with you later on. Well, in the pros, former Bulldog and St. Louis Blues defenseman Scott Brunovich will be sidelined for the rest of the regular season as he is scheduled to have surgery on his left shoulder tomorrow. The Hobey Baker Award winner was in his first full season with the St. Louis Blues as a member of their taxi squad. The team also announced that they expect Brunovich to make a full recovery before the start of next season. And locally, the UMD women's hockey team just can't seem to catch a break in 2021. They've had 6 games postponed so far due to COVID-19 concerns, including their series this weekend against Mankato. Minnesota State has paused all of their team operations this week and are expected to let UMD officials know by this Sunday if they'll be ready for next weekend's series at Amsoil. Head coach Maura Kroll says it's obviously been tough, disrupting any sort of rhythm the team has had on their current 3-game winning streak.
This is when you want to be playing your best hockey. So we build towards February, and it's disappointing. Trust me, these guys are competitors. They're elite athletes. They want to play. They know what's on the line. But at the same time, once you get used to it and you know the culture that we're living in right now, you know, they take it and they're very resilient. They move on. We go out and practice. They manage well. It's frustrating, but they know.
Well, we look forward to the weekend after this one. That's going to do it for sports. We'll have more here back tonight at 10, including Thursday night face-off highlights from around the region in high school hockey. For now, Kristen and Tony, I'll send it back to you.
We love Thursday night face-off. Thanks, Kelly. Also coming up tonight at 10, deliveries are at an all-time high right now due to the pandemic, and the brutal winter temps we've been seeing are not making them any easier. Tonight we'll hear from delivery workers on how the cold temps impact their jobs. Credit to them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not envious of that job right now. Can you imagine being a mail carrier? Just outside all day?
No, they deserve all the credit.
Yeah. Well, before we go, a 17-year-old from Gary, Indiana says she considered herself to be a part of Black history.
Kendall Jackson spoke after becoming one of the first Black women to become an Eagle Scout. Jackson also broke gender barriers, joining the Scouts as soon as the group started admitting girls in 2019. She then went out of her way to become an Eagle Scout, earning almost twice as many merit badges as she needed. Her final Eagle Scout project was a seminar to prepare high school students for life after graduation. Jackson is now part of an inaugural class of female Eagle Scouts, which includes about 20 other Black women. Only 6% of Scouts reach that rank.
All right, we got 15 seconds left, Dave. Cold.
Cold, but maybe warmer by Monday. 5 above Monday, 16 above by this time next Thursday.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10 o'clock.